anyone up here who wants to ask Greg a question? Oh, here we go.
Out of Grimlock and Skyfire, who's your favourite character?
It's a draw. Skyfire was supposed to be a very prominent character, at least that was the way it was explained. And I was saying earlier that prime Skyfire deliberation and consideration and humanity is really appealing to me as a person, and that positivity of Skyfire. And but I mean, it's grimy by a knockout because there's so much fun to have, and that's me. I'm playful, and if there's a joke to find or a funny way to make it happen, I love that, but not at the expense of the other. It's a really good question because they really are two sides of me, very much so two sides of me, and that's just a fluke. But you know, maybe there's no flukes.
Any other questions? Oh, sorry, I didn't see her.
One implied question, yes, the bar is still open.
I just wanted to add something to the question that was said before. The simplicity of Grimlock also has a childlike quality, because as a child it's easier to understand a character like Grimlock than another character. And also there's an element of brute force. Grimlock just goes in, bulldozes in, breaks barriers, walls.
Mass brains!
And a very young child will relate to that better than a character that doesn't do that.
I think that's all true. But he's also defensive about the one thing that he knows he has, which is a small brain. Which is also, you know, appealing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next question, guys. Greg. Oh, here we go. If we have trouble again, it's definitely this guy. It's his fault.
It's still on. Do you reuse voices for different characters?
Reuse?
Yes.
I would say, I'm sure it happens, but not because I'm just thinking like number 7. It's because a different set of breakdowns will lead me to a similar choice. The pain in Metal Gear Solid fighting the bees is very similar to Firefly, who just wants to blow things up. And so it's a similar range, but they're both fully realized characters. Terrell in Legacy of Kain. Trying to think of who he's like. Maybe he's all on his own. Oh, Quentin Beck, Mysterio in Spider-Man. The Bubblehead, who Now You See Me, Now You Don't, is very similar to Terrell. But they're not the same person, and they're not the same character, and they don't have the same worldview or even point of view. But yeah, it goes to a similar place in my wheelhouse. But I consider them two fully realized characters that are not the same character. So you know, you have a certain range of voice, and within that you're making choices. But I make a choice based on the character, not on the voice. It's what I was saying earlier. They are not casting a voice, they're casting a character, so that's where you throw your focus. Who else? Well, Cornfed in Duckman. I don't know if that was on in the UK, but I'm very proud of it. Yeah. I had a skinny hat, a skinny tie, and had to clean up after the duck. And I personally watched way too many Dragnets growing up, so I think I went to that Just the Facts place. But if I take some of the speed out of that, and some of the IQ out of that, I end up in the 100-acre wood, looking for my tail, which just fell off again. Probably gonna rain, usually does. At least feast on my house. So, I mean, that is what you have to work with. It's going to be somewhere in there. That's all there is, within reason. So, have I answered the question okay? It really may come from a similar place, and it may have elements of, but it's kind of like an artist, you know, you've got so many colors on the palette, but you can mix them in an infinite number of varieties. I feel like being Eeyore for the rest of the day. Doesn't matter if I'm tired. When I had auditioned, Peter Cullen still does some of the Eeyore as well. I do Disney character voices. When you don't see him, you see me. When you don't see me, you see him. But it came to mind, they matched me back to the original, who was Ralph Wright. And I thought as I was listening, I thought, there's only 2 notes here, because I tend to listen to things kind of musically, and I thought, there's 2 notes, this one and this one. And if you think about it, everything that starts here usually ends here. Or maybe it wanders from here to here and back to here. And you think about, like, decades and decades of love and longevity out of a 2-note character, but those 2 notes are so awesome. They tell the story, and the rest is character and getting inside.
Okay, guys, just a couple more questions and then we'll have to wrap up, I'm afraid. So,
can I ask a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Anybody have fun this weekend? Me too.
Did anyone see Gregg dancing last night on the dance floor? He is the greatest dancer.
Hey.
Grimlock's got some moves.
I think I saw the headline in the Independent said Grimlock dances. It was...
So, quick fire questions, guys. Oh, got one at the back. Oh, hey! Finally, the gang's back. Oh, yeah, okay.
Why wasn't Grimlock so concerned about the other Dinobots more than himself?
Fair question. I'm not convinced he wasn't. You think he left everyone else in the dust? I don't remember.
No, I think he's just he was more concerned about his reputation than everybody else's.
Me king. Kind of have to give it up for the king, and then everybody else ties for second, at least in his estimation.
That's Mr. Weiss.
You would think I'm sick of asking you questions by now, wouldn't you?
It occurred to me.
Really, the only thing that I want, it's not so much a question, but it was just sort of like, if you had the chance to go back, looking at your own performance as Grimlock, would you change anything about it?
No.
It's that good.
No, it is. It works for me. It works for me.
Thank you.
Big round of applause for Greg. Guys, literally, time for a couple more questions. So, if you've got a quick question, throw your hand up now. No one?
Okay, I would have changed one thing. I would have manicured my nails better.
Alright guys, big round of applause, Mr. Gregg Berger.
And for yourselves. It's been a fantastic weekend. I really, really, really appreciate it, and I really, really, really hope to go home with no CDs left, because the rest of the proceeds are going to 2010.
Keep it going guys, stand ovation, he's been an absolute star.